Welcome to Entrepreneurs Are Leaders podcast with Harry Sardinas. Interviews with world's most influential entrepreneurs that share tips about how to grow your business exponentially. Charismatic speaking, leadership, branding, marketing strategies designed to help you monetize your knowledge, find true happiness, and manifest your goals and dreams.
Hello, I'm Annette Dernick. I'm from Germany. My topic is love and peace in companies. I'm an author, speaker, and coach. As author, I've already written several books or co-authored several books. My own book is so far only published in Germany and in German language. It's called The Peace Factor, How to Finally Have Peace in Your Office. I've also co-authored at least one global Amazon bestseller. It was a book published by Marie Diamond with the title Global Conscious Entrepreneurs Leading the World. My contribution was Peace Creates Values. Besides this, I've co-authored in different books as to communication, as to project management, as to leading skills, to just give you a very quick overview of what I've done so far. And those are also the topics I'm speaking about in my speeches. And when I go to companies, that's really where I coach those people. And one topic I haven't mentioned so far, that's cross-cultural communication, as I know how important it is to have a good understanding between different cultures of this world.
Thank you so much, Annette, for this introduction and for joining us. And today we're going to have a chat. Today we're going to have a lot of content. So for every single one of you that is listening, please take paper and pen, because today you're going to learn something amazing from Annette, and we're going to be discovering what are the secrets behind have a peace in the organization. So the first question, Annette, is the following. Do you think that who is to blame for when it's chaos and arguments and tension and stress in the company? Do you think that is the employee's fault? Do you think that is the management fault? Do you think that is the CEO fault? So who's responsible when companies are stressed, there is tension, there is a lot of pressure, we have to meet the deadlines. So whose fault is it?
So I want to start another point. So for me, there are three questions that are useless to ask. The first one is, whose fault is it? The second one is, who started the argument? And the third one is, who's right and who's wrong? So I really loved it when you asked me who's responsible. And being responsible for me is something really different, because then it's possible to take action. If I just talk about whose fault is it, then there's somebody to blame. And the person who is to be blamed, he is more the victim. And it's not about victim. It's really talking on eye level. And if somebody is responsible, then he or she can also take action. And to answer your question, when I start working with people, I always start working with the CEOs. I have experience in more than 20 years working with teams, with international teams, international project teams. And sometimes I was called into companies and they asked me, oh, please, can you fix this team? It doesn't work properly. And I started working with the team, and what happened was that sooner or later we realized that it's not the team that doesn't work properly. It's that the team doesn't get the, let's say, orders or what they should do, that they don't give it in such a way that they can really do what they should do. So I'm now working with CEOs, with those people who are responsible, and I'm working with those who really want to make a difference, who want to change the world, who want to change the working environment, and who really want to have employees who love to work for them. And this really starts with the upper level of the management.
Right. So in your view on it, what are the main steps that the CEOs, they have to put in place in order to improve because when we have peace in the company, something new opens, right? At the end of the day, what the problem is bigger than people think, because it's affecting the productivity. Like you shared with me, employees leave, and they don't leave not even because of how much they get paid. They just leave because the weight of the management and the leadership is engaging with them. So at the end of the day, if we have peace in the companies, I think that the productivity and the level of mental health of the employees can increase dramatically. And I'm not sure that the CEOs are aware of the impact that it has on the companies, or the high level, on the numbers level. So what do you think that would be the first step that the CEOs have to start to implement to address this issue and to have more peace and love and acceptance and gratefulness inside the companies?
Yeah, the first step really is to start with the person itself. So for the company leader itself, and I always say that it starts over here. So it means everything that is in relation, is related to my nose. So my whole body, my whole being, myself, that's the one with which to start, because we are living in times of a huge transformation. I'm no longer talking about change. I'm only talking about transformation. And if people won't go with the transformation, I'm sure that those companies will not survive, let's say, the next 10 or 15 years, because it's really all about feeling things inside. It's about going inside first before going outside. So if I am peaceful inside myself, then I can be much more peaceful with others. And when I started working, it was more, let's say, I felt like being in the military, that I had to obey the orders of my boss, and there was nobody who wanted to hear my opinion. And this is really changing dramatically. It's kind of putting things upside down. And so it already starts in the morning when the CEO looks into his or her face in the mirror. Is he like this? Oh, there are some more wrinkles. Or is he that he's really looking into his or her eyes and say, oh, it's going to be a great day. And let's see where we can make a difference. Let's see how we can support our employees so that these employees can support the companies. And that's really crucial, to be self-reflective and not to think, oh, it's the others that have to change. When I want to see a change in the world, I must see it. It's similar to what Gandhi said. You must be the change you want to see in the world. And that's really what CEOs and other leaders should really do.
Yeah, I think that one of the main issues could be that, the CEO just arrived or the money or on the morning to the office, yeah, and they are driven by profits, right? So we have to make profit, we have to make money, and then the normal act to that is, okay, let's tell the manager, the managers to tell the people to work harder, so then we can produce more and then we can have more profit. And this is a common practice in the companies, right? What it brings a lot of issues that actually affect tremendously the profit, right?
Yes.
You have an employee that, like, for example, you have an employee that meeting all the numbers and all the targets, and all of a sudden 3 months doesn't perform. And then these companies just go there and they always analyze the last 3 months of performance, and if they need to get rid of someone, it doesn't matter that have produced amazing in the last 10 years. If they don't produce in the last 6 months, they get rid of the person. And maybe the person is not producing because, I don't know, because a parent died, because it have a special situation at home, because somebody's sick, right? And because nobody has a communication or conversation with that person, and that person is stopping to produce as usual, but it's just for a particular reason, right? And then because the compliance and the way that they do this is the performance in the last 6 months, right? Then they get rid of a person that actually is really, really good, yeah, and keep the other ones because they don't analyze overall the human factor behind that. And the human factor is also as well that no, if you don't produce, you get fired. Okay, how can we start the conversation, right? That how everybody that is already in the company, how we can produce more. Rather,
Yes.
rather than to get rid of people, right?
Yeah. So for me, this is really the old paradigm to always have growth and to have employees who only are obeying the orders. But if we really shift it, then it will lead to even more profits. It will lead to an even higher revenue. Because when people really love to be in the company, if they are appreciated, then they are much more committed. They are much more creative and much more productive. And so it really depends on the highest level in the company. It's not so much depending on an employee not feeling well. So this can happen. But we as humans, each of us wants to be seen. Each of us wants to matter. Each of us wants to contribute. If I have the impression that I can really contribute to the success of the company, then I'm much more committed to really work hard for this company or to put all my enthusiasm, all my ideas into this company. But when I have the impression that I'm feeling like kind of a horse that is treated with a lid on my back, then I'm not willing to work. So it's also the question, how am I understood? How am I valued and appreciated? And there's another task for the top level, and this is that each of us has different qualities. And I'm now looking into sport teams or maybe also an orchestra. Everybody is different. So if you put somebody who's able to play the flute, if you ask him to play the violin, the results won't be good. But if the one who is a violinist, if he's really playing the violin, he will have good results. And so this is really what is so important in companies as well, not to see people like merchandise that you can buy and can kind of get rid of when you want to. This is really old school thinking. As when I really appreciate everybody, and also the people who are cleaning the floors and the offices in the evening, they also contribute great value. So if you only imagine there wouldn't be any cleaning, so how long could we survive in such offices? And so it's so important to start really seeing people and to also behave in such a way. I know so many people who tell me, only recently I was speaking, and I was talking about keeping eye contact while talking. And I was talking to the assistant of a CEO, and she said, "You want to know what my CEO does?" And I said, "Oh, yes, of course, tell me." And she said, "Even though I am the assistant to him, when he arrives in the office in the morning, he doesn't even greet me." Can you imagine? So what kind of appreciation is this? There's no appreciation. And so many people tell me, "Oh, but I don't have the time to go to each office in the morning to say good morning." And I ask them, yes, but if those people really know what to do and what you would love them to do, and if you have a chat with them in the morning, just making sure that they know what the task for today is and to raise their productivity, it's so worth doing it. And for me, if people tell me I don't have the time, it's because they don't value the people they are working with. And this really, in my opinion, it has to change if companies still want to be on the market.
I think that there is something for a fact that is that the CEO and the management, the C-levels, people that they are on charge of the companies, they have to work more on themselves, right? At the end of the day, it's like you said, we are all humans. We are all problems. We all have problems, right? And the more they work on themselves, the more they are at peace, the more that they are aligned with what they're doing and what they want the community and the people around there to do, right? And the more that they can express that message, that vision effectively, yeah, and to enroll everyone in, right?
Exactly.
This requires a lot of work, a lot of personal development, a lot of training, a lot of courses, and I think that this is the biggest issue. The biggest issue is that the C-level management, right, or even the entrepreneurs, right? Some of them, their own founders are actually the CEOs, and it's a very, very difficult journey, right? To create the company, to found the company, because you have to know, you need to do everything. You have to learn about to sell, how to develop the product, how to raise finance, and when you started the company, you had to wear all those hats. And it's a process that is really a lonely process. I'm talking from my own experience, right? When I started my first business, it was really hard. It was hard because I didn't have the knowledge of all the skills that I need. I just knew a little bit about something, right? I created, we have a product, we sold it, we make a profit, and there you go. You are in business by accident. And and after you start to find out that, well, you need to know about accountants, you need to know about selling, you need to know about product development, you need to study competition, you have to do market research, you have to do X, Y, and Z, and then all the things start to pile up. That most of them you don't have not even idea they even existed, right? And then that process, until you actually manage to build the company and grow that company, yeah, it's a process that is hard, right? Probably the entrepreneur work like 18 hours, 16 hours without stopping, right? And then it's that resentment that is there as a result of this journey, right? That then somehow it get reflected in the future employees, in the future members somehow, that, you know what, if I work really hard to build this, and now you working for me, you also have to work hard, and you have to do what I said, and don't I know best, and this type of behavior, which I think, right, that that is the normal thing that the people will do if they don't work on themselves. Well, now, when they start to understand, like you said, and start to read about your book, for example, and learn new concepts, and then realize that there's another world out there. Yeah. What if we can have an amazing environment where we can produce more? And you see, the tech companies have done a big evolution on that, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you have seen Google, or you go to Google, all these companies, and when you open there, you find that they have flexible hours, that they can play sports, the ping pong table, they can relax, because those companies understand very well that to get the most out of the employees, they need to create a peace framework, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, what are the first steps that company need to take to start to address this issue? Yeah. What are the first 3 things that you will do, Annette, in a company to start to improve this issue, that the transition from chaos in the company, from stress, from you need to do what I say, to actually, and because of this tension, the productivity is low, versus let's have a company when everyone is enrolled, when we treat everyone with respect, when we acknowledge and listen to the opinion of everyone, yes, and we can have better productivity. What would be the first three things that a company has to do?
Yeah. So before I start the process, for me, it's very important not to blame to put the blame on anybody, because I think we all do things as we were taught to do and as we thought we should do. And the second thing is just to bear in mind, I've started being an entrepreneur about 30 years ago. So I really exactly know what you're talking about, that it's so important at the beginning to know everything about social media and everything that's necessary.
Yeah.
And to really answer your question, so the first step really is to kind of question myself, and to really question myself, does what I do really contribute to the well-being of the company or not? And I had a very eye-opening experience many years ago. We were sitting together when I was doing a coach. I became a coach, and I was really complaining about so many things, and about the people who were unjust with me and so on. And one of my colleagues, she turned to me and said, "Oh, Annette, it's always two: one who does it and the other one who accepts it." And for me, I was really angry with her, because I thought, "Oh, but it's me to whom it's happening." And after a while, I realized that it's not that things are happening to me, things are happening for me, so that I get the opportunity to change things. And if really leaders accept that they also not only can grow, but that it's crucial for the success of the company to grow inside, and not to do the things as they did it yesterday, but to really be solution oriented. So in Germany, sometimes we have a mentality like, I can't do this, I've never done this before, and so it won't work. And this is not solution oriented. When I'm solution oriented, then I'm asking questions, how can it work? What can I do? And if I start with this mindset, that I'm not the one who knows everything, when I know that I'm the one who can also benefit from the expertise of my employees, then things can really change. So the first thing is to go inside. The second thing is to acknowledge that I, as a leader, I shouldn't be the person with the most of the knowledge, because this was what we had about 20 years ago. Those persons were promoted who knew the most in one certain area. If I'm really a leader, I need to have leading skills, and leading skills are listening, are appreciating, are putting teams together like in an orchestra or like a sports team. And so there is so much support outside. You already mentioned books. There are so many coaches like me who support those company leaders to really step into another role. And then a third thing, in my opinion, seems to be sometimes quite difficult for persons in these positions, is to really accept support and help. And if I do these three things, I go inside, I see that the tasks of a leader are different from the tasks than an employee has to do. And if I then accept help, and if I really have the deep desire to change, then in my opinion, many, many things are possible. And in my opinion, it doesn't always have to be that everybody wants to be like Google. And there is kind of a corridor in which it is good to act. So it isn't enough to just put a basket with fruit on the table and then say, okay, I've already done everything for my employees. They can have free fruits. No, it's really more the inner attitude. And if I really appreciate all my employees and say, oh, you have very good skills in social media. Great. Please work for me. And there's another one who is a good accountant. Great. He should come and work for me, because it's really very, very important to have skilled people. And then the success of the company will increase. Because if people stay longer, if employees stay longer in the company, I have less costs. Normally it is said that to restitute one employee by another, it costs about 30 to 100% of the annual salary that this person is going to earn. So costs are reduced. And if employees are really motivated and committed and creative and more productive, then this will also attract new customers. So costs will decrease, turnovers will increase. And we both know if costs decrease and turnovers increase, then the profit rises. And so really the contrary is the case, that if I have another attitude, then I'll bring my company to a completely new level of success. And what is the best thing is that also the inner peace, inner acceptance, inner joy, inner happiness, it also increases. And then life really looks completely different than it was before, when I had the impression that, oh, I'm the only hardworking guy here on this earth.
Wow. So the first step, we're gonna cover 5 steps. So the first step that the CEO has to take is to realize that the only person responsible for a change is himself, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Nobody else is responsible, right? So if the company at the moment there is stress, there is mental health issues, the employees are not feeling well, there is this tension in this company, right? That there is no appreciation for the employees. This definitely will have a direct impact on the profits, yeah.
Yes.
And the only person responsible for that, I agree with you 100%, is the CEO, the leader, the person in charge. So,
Yeah.
and the only person that can take responsibility for change, right?
Yes.
Is the CEO, the leader, right?
Yes.
Okay. So step number 1 is to realize that the problem is not other people's problem, it's actually your problem. Make sense?
Exactly. It's not an external problem. It's only an internal problem, because the only person who can change my thoughts, my behavior, my attitude, that's why I'm pointing to my head. That's me alone. And if I know that I have this power, and that's really an enormous power, then I can change things, not maybe from one day to the other to 100%, but it's in really steps. So I completely agree with you. That's really the first step, to realize that I'm much more powerful than I thought, because I can change my thoughts for the better, and it really works.
Exactly. And to take responsibility that the only person responsible for the situation that is at the moment in the company, right, is you, that you are the leader. Okay.
Yes.
So that's the first step, what we call it awareness, that this actually you can change, and actually it's only you who's responsible to that. What you cannot do is keep moaning and complaining and keep pushing the employee to perform more, using the same thing. Like Albert, they say, if you cannot do the same thing and expect different results, right?
Exactly. Yes.
The company go down and down and down, or it's not performing as well, and you keep doing the same thing and telling the people work more, and then you see that the company is not picking up. So this is basically there is something there that has to be addressed. So okay, so we have the first step covered. Yeah, we're gonna cover 4 more steps. So we have this step about the CEO having the awareness, and then and the acknowledge that nobody is gonna do it for them, because the only responsible for that situation is actually the leader, right?
Exactly.
Now,
Yes.
number two, after the CEO, the person in charge of this organization, have this awareness and have this take this responsibility, and he decide that he wants to change, right? Because he wants the best for his company. Yeah. So what would be the step number two? What would be the next step that the CEO has to take in order to start to work on that direction?
Yeah, to really see that the employees, that each of us human beings has different qualities. And if I do everything on my own, I might do it, let's say, on average. But if I have specialists on every subject, then I can really grow. Because if I'm, let's say, an average accountant and I have one in my team who is a very good accountant, then he'll perform much better. So the second step really is to acknowledge that as a leader, the tasks are different. As a leader, I shouldn't do anything that should be done. I should be able to delegate and to have a high performance team, like in sports, like in an orchestra, and to look who is suited for which position. And as I said it with the orchestra, to put the person who is good in accounting, to put him or her in accounting. If you put this person into the marketing where they have to generate great ideas, this won't work, because this person won't feel very well in the marketing department. And at the same time, if you put somebody who is really creative, if you put them into accounting, I think nobody of us would like to have a creative accountant who's doing things on a very creative basis. So that's really the next step, to see who will support me in which area and with which qualities.
So what we can say is that, surround yourself with the right people and
Yes.
put it in the right positions. I always say, the most important thing in the company is the people.
Yes, of course.
If all they are good, amazing things happen.
Really. Yeah.
Now, if the employees also, they need to work on themselves, right? At the moment that the CEO starts to work on himself, this can create a ripple effect, right, on the employees, right? That because when the employee get to the conclusion, I don't care anymore, I just come here 8 a.m. and finish 5 p.m. I get my money, and I don't want to know anything more about this company. When the employee get to this stage, the productivity is really, really low, right? Because it's just doing it for the money, right?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, so when this process of change, of transformation, of have more peace and more joy in the company started, I agree with you that the second step would be to see your human capital that you have in the organization, and what can be done to put the people where they are happy and they are more able to produce more, right?
Yes.
And there is also a sector in emotional intelligence. So you have to be able to detect which ones are the employees that have the emotional intelligence that hold the company together, right? I remember that when I used to work a long time ago, in Spain, I remember that after every Friday we used to go for a drink, right?
Yeah.
And we spend that Friday, making jokes about the week of work, making jokes about this, and we have a lot of fun. However, because I was going every Friday, I end up become friend of everyone at work, right?
Yeah.
And these help a lot in terms of productivity when to actually, we were doing software development, right? Which a lot of things get involved, like graphic designers that are very artistic and software developers that are very mathematical, and you can put them in a room and they can be talking about the same thing for 5 hours and they still don't understand each other because they have different words, different ones that are very mathematical, the other ones are very artistic, and they're trying to do something together, right? And I remember I started my company as software developer, and I ended up as a project manager because they told me, don't write more code anymore. We don't need that from you. We need better to manage the project because you get along with the people produce more, and this is a way better for the company, right? So
Yes.
I have to say that in that company I was working in Spain, they noticed where I was more productive, and honestly, I really liked it more the project management than the writing the code, right?
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, they noticed what was my best skill, and they find out, and they changed my position inside that company, right?
Yeah.
And I think that when this process of start the peace and ease in the companies and start the joy that the company, that people love to go and work, we have to assess this second step that you're talking about, the human capital, and find where are the best place for every single employee, right? And then put them in, relocate them in where they are happy, so the whole flow, the whole energy, the energy of the company take a different direction, right?
Yes.
Okay. So number 2 is analyze the human capital and make the changes needed so everybody's happy in their position. Not only happy, they need to be in the position that they're actually produce more, but they produce more because they are happy, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so then what would be the third step? And what would be after we can call it the reorganization or the movement of the human capital to put it in a place, in a positions, or maybe adapt more the job description and the roles so they feel more involved and more that their opinion counts. Maybe it's just not even to move people from positions, it's just to upgrade the job roles, right? And in these new job descriptions, they will have elements where their opinion counts, they enroll more with the team, they're more treated with respect, X, Y, and Z, yeah?
Yes.
So after this is done, what will be the third step that the CEOs should follow?
Yeah.
In order to achieve the peace. Yeah.
Yes. It's really to know and to acknowledge that support is available. And when I've just at present, I have the picture in mind of a sports team, and let's take 2 teams, and one of these have to make a goal, and so it doesn't matter if it's soccer or if it's in Europe we call it football, or if it's maybe hockey, and only on the field you'll see if you really have a winning team. So you have somebody who's the goalkeeper, you have somebody in the offense, in the middle field, and in the defense, and they really have to act together, really like good performing team. And so in my opinion, that's something that the CEO can't do. And even though the CEO has already asked for support when he started his changing process, now it is once again important to hire somebody who is experienced in how to develop a team. And I've been working in team development for many, many years. And my experience is that also in a company, you can have exercises which show who is what kind of character, because not everybody is really the extrovert. And it's also very important to have introvert people. And sometimes it's also a good idea to just have kind of a personality test, even though I'm not so very fond of them. As to team roles, I like it because there are certain team roles that you always have. As I've already said, you have somebody who is or who must be creative. Then you need somebody who does the work. You have somebody who does some maybe controlling, or who is the person who asks questions that normally nobody wants to hear. But if we don't have people who question things, then it will not be easy to be successful, because not everything works, and it's always good to have this, let's say, loop asking difficult some questions, critical questions. And then it's always good to have as a fourth role, just in general, somebody who stays in contact with other teams, with customers, with suppliers. And so if you have really a team that is working together like a clockwork, then this is a very important thing for your company to be really successful.
Yeah, I think that, Annette, this is something very important, which is we're talking about coaching and we're talking about support, right? I think that in the same way that the CEO start to work on themselves, the company, right, it has to work on itself, its organization. For you were talking about personality test. I think that there is a very good way of doing this. We actually have done it all over Latin America, which is when we do the corporate trainings. We play games, right?
Exactly, that's what I mean.
And everyone have fun the whole day. They have an amazing day. We do this workshop, but at the end of the workshop, we do know all these personalities, because when people play, they play in a certain way.
Exactly.
They cannot change that.
Yes.
Because it's part of the personality, and they all want to win. And in those games, you realize very quickly who's the leader, who is the critical, who is the person that do the role, who is the passive, which one is the person that doesn't care. So very quickly you can assess all this personality in the team, right? And
Yes.
and I think that that this we're gonna give even a deeper understanding how to keep a happy company, how to keep a peace. So actually to realize, because you need everyone, like you say. My own company, I have the same issue, right? One of the person is the critic, right?
Yes.
And I always say, he's very important, but don't bring him when it's the creation process.
Exactly.
Because then kill the creation.
Yes.
So he's very important, like everybody else in the company. However, he need to come in the right time. Because when the process is of the creation, in my own experience, my own company, right? And we are in a creative mode, and we're creating a new product and everything. You need all the team, throwing on ideas and trying, they're pushing something forward, maybe to solve a problem that the company already have, right? And we did have in the past, in these meetings, the critic there, and it was hard. It was hard because it was stopping the creation process. That doesn't mean that it's not important, right? So, but once the ideas are there and they have shape, definitely this, we can call it the critic. When it comes, it plays a very important role, because it can say, okay, this thing that guy developed, you think is good, but this have this flow. The second one, they have this flow, blah blah, and with that you actually can improve the product, right? So everyone is important, okay? And again, if you're an extrovert, you're going to be very good at sales. But if you're an introvert, you're going to be amazing in marketing and designing marketing strategies, right? So the introvert is very good at the strategy. The extrovert is very good at sales and doing events and talk and do speaking around the world and so on and do trainings, right? So it comes, Annette, this point that you're making, it comes to coaching, mentoring, and training, right? Which is something that companies, right, and it's a standard practice when they're running out of budget. Yeah, the first things that they cut is training, and you see, and this is the only thing that's gonna help you to get more profit. Make sense?
Yes.
The
Yes.
more coaching, the more mentoring, the more you have within the organization, not only in the C-level, but in the rest of the employees, right? The more, because the training, the mentoring, and the coaching also is team building. For example, we do a lot of team building, corporate team building, from hotels to universities to banks. We have done several of them. It brings the whole mood and the whole company together, right?
Exactly.
Is
Yes.
is things that everybody we do it very immersive, very interactive. People dance, people, and then you can have these team buildings, right? With actually it reflects on the employees that somebody cares about them, right?
Exactly.
That they spending a day, and you know what? We do have our own experience. The people have come back to work next day out of the workshops, and the WhatsApp message and the feedback that we have is amazing. Like I remember we did one in one hotel about customer service in Peru, and to be outstanding and to be excellent, right? And I remember we told the chef, okay, you guys, you have to be excellent. So we did a competition among themselves, right? Who are the more creative and more excellent, right? So the chef create an amazing logo with the pineapple about the hotel and things like that. The housekeeping did this, the reception did the other thing. But what happened was that the next day they actually implemented, and when we go into the buffet in the morning was completely different. We usually stay in the hotels that we're training because the owners want us to stay there to see the whole experience after the training. And we went to the buffet and they were very proud to show us how creative they are. And then, oh my God, all the fruit that was in amazing shapes and everything. And then, but at the end of the day, they got a lot of tips because of that they didn't have before. So the chef, they told us, Harry, you won't believe, because of your workshop and creativity, we are making a lot of money on tips. A lot of people came and give us tips because the orange looked like a whatever, or the pineapple looks like this. And then the same in the housekeeping, they were doing like the towers, they were making a shape of swan or things like that. And the employees were giving the feedback to the CEO, and then the feedback came to us that actually after our excellence and being outstanding workshop, the employees were all over the moon because everybody in the hotel they was happy, but they actually were making more money in tip, right? They were getting. So the whole point is that this is what a company and mentoring and coaching can do for any company.
Yes.
Right? And can contribute to what you're talking about, peace and unlock the real power of the employees, of the people, the workforce that is there, right? The most important is, like I said, we conducted this workshop. You said, the creativity is important for you. Because develop your brain. You can. Who wants to be old? So the more you create, the more. So we talk with employees to or we train them to the space that, to be creative at the workplace and to give an understanding service is also good for you, good for your health, good for your this, good for that, good also for the company. So somehow we enroll employees in the vision, and all of a sudden they did it, and they discovered something that was not even there, that they actually make a lot of tips out of this, right? So, and this is part of the process of the understanding of the C-level of the management, because at the end of the day, but anyway, if every single sports, every single athlete that actually have won a medal, right? You see that they always say the same thing, thanks to my coach, right? They couldn't do it without a coach, they couldn't do it without a mentor, without training, because this is the people, the specialists, like you said, that keep them on track. So in my opinion, to keep a lot of, like you said, peaceful and happy company, a lot of training, good training, coaching and mentoring has to be in place to make sure that the consistency on the mood of the employees of the organization stays. It doesn't die, so it's
Yes.
stay steady or grow, right? Okay.
Exactly.
So after the third step of coaching and mentoring, what would be the fourth step that the organization have to do to have this happy and peaceful workforce?
Yeah, and now I would like to look more on the clients. Because we have not yet been talking about the clients, and without clients, no company can survive. And if I've not been looking at the clients so far, it was because we started talking about where should a company change. And now at the latest, it is very important to have a closer look on the customers. When I really start working with CEOs, I also include customers and customer experience with the company. And at the same time, when I'm really in this process of transformation, I can't do everything at the same time. In general, it's really important to really take one step where we put the customer into the focus. And so the question is, how may I best serve my customer? It's not about selling products. It's about serving the customer. And when I serve my customer, he likes and loves to pay me for my service because he or she knows that this is really what he or she needs. And so when it's about customers, one very important thing for me is always to ask questions, to ask open questions, and to really have an analysis of the needs. So when I really ask, what is it really that you need? A question that I always love to ask is, what shall be different when we have finished working together? And so it's so important that the customer is satisfied with the product that he or she buys. It's not about me. It's really the satisfaction of the customer after he has bought or used or experienced the product, be it a product like a car, or be it a product that you can't touch, like a coaching, or also a massage session, or going to the hairdressers, these things. That's really important. And to use kind of the whole team and the whole company to make this customer journey an enjoyable one for everybody involved, not only for the customers, but also for the people working in the company. Because I know if I really, when clients when we work together and they tell me, oh, it's so supportive what you do for us, and this really helped me to achieve the next step, then this is what makes me happy. So when I make others happy, then this is happiness. It's kind of reflected like by a mirror, and it comes back to me. And so if we as a team, as a company really try to, and not only try, if our goal is to satisfy our customers, then this is the next step to really bring more peace, joy, happiness into the team as well.
Yeah, we can say, Annette, that is the terms of turns your customers into fans, right? This is
Yes,
a concept that I love a lot, right? So how you can turn your customers into fans, right? And again,
exactly.
it comes to the same piece at the organization, because in the organization, all the workers are, treating well your workers. Yeah, they're not gonna treat well your clients
Yes,
because
exactly.
this is an exchange. The way that you treat them is the way that they're gonna treat the clients, right? And
Yes,
this have a huge impact, right? Because then the client is everything for the company. Without the client, you are nothing, right?
so exactly. Yes,
But if you turn your clients into fans, a completely different scenario you have, like you have people, the clients come back again and again and again and repeat, but also refer you people, right? It's
exactly.
like turning your clients into fans. We have the our workshop speakers and leaders. We have people that attend every time, and sometimes I saw them in the audience and I said, "Look, I think you know the workshop better than me because you've been here in the workshop several times."
Wow.
And they always sharing, but they love it. They always get something new. They right. So you can the way that that the client perceive your product, your service, and how you if you can turn your client into fun, right? Then this is gonna open a new opportunity for you, because you're gonna have a lot of referrals, that
Exactly.
your marketing cost is zero, right?
Yes,
And that's when I said that the organization had to work on that, because if they do the math 360 in all the implications that a stressful work situation can generate, they will realize that is amazing, the results for the company. And I'm positive that the better you treat your employees, the better your employees are gonna treat your clients, right?
yes,
Because if you treat them good, they're gonna treat good the people, right? And again, with coaching and mentoring, that also can the employees can be trained to how to achieve that successfully,
yes,
how
yeah,
to start this process to turn the clients into funds. But yeah, I agree with you 100% about this fourth step. Like, after we start this process of transformation within the organization, a very important factor after we create new guidelines, we create a new way how the company inside and the employees they're gonna operate, and if they're gonna be happy, and they're all gonna be treated with respect, and they're gonna have a lot of coaching and mentoring, so everybody can work on themselves, including from the CEO to actually the employees, and put it in the right position with the when they take which one have the emotional intelligence, which one are good for strategy, for marketing, for sales, for this, and we relocate the workforce where they have the more optimal productivity and what they more love to do. I think that analyzing fully how we can move this experience not only for the employees and the workforce, but also to have an impact on the client, can have an amazing effect in the result of the performance of the company. So definitely look at the clients deep and the relationship with clients, yeah, because maybe the clients are can also change the
yeah,
relationship they have with the organization, and that if like I said, if we manage to turn the clients into fans, it's gonna be a huge, because we have on our own experience, is an amazing result, because
yes,
it brings you a lot of more clients with everybody's talking about you.
Yes.
Everybody talk about your product, they get excited, and then the company works the customer acquisition costs start to reduce dramatically. You don't even know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
And the only thing you do it is giving an outstanding service to your client. Yeah.
Yes.
And to sum up, Annette, what would be the 5 point? What would be the fifth main point that this CEO, this company have to implement in order to change the transition from chaos and tension and stress to happiness, flow, productivity?
This is now to go beyond let's say the borders of the company, because in my opinion, every entrepreneur should also, it's good if every entrepreneur feels responsible not only for his or herself and the company, but for the environment as well. And especially when we are talking about love and peace, for me, there are the three aspects, to be peaceful inside, then to be peaceful with the people I'm surrounded. And now in the fifth step, it's to be peaceful with Earth as well.
With the world, exactly.
Yes, and with Earth. And what I always say is that every friendly word contributes something to the well-being of people, as every plastic bag that I don't use contributes to the well-being of the planet. And so for me, the whole sustainable topic is very important. So it's also, in my opinion, a responsibility of the companies to take care of our planet Earth and to look that the processes within the company, that they are environmentally friendly. The best is from cradle to cradle. Okay, you can't achieve this everywhere, but if I really start to do this on a voluntary basis, not only because laws are changing and laws are telling me that, for example, a special kind of car is no longer accepted. In my opinion, it's much better to already start this process as soon as possible. And also this pays off because the development now is really in the direction of being more environmentally friendly, especially for the young people. So if I have products that are environmentally friendly, then this attracts other new customers. And normally customers are willing to pay more for products that are environmentally friendly. Or for example, if it's fruit or meat or something like this, which is grown without pesticides, which is grown in a friendly, or is when animals are raised in such a way that they are also respected. And for me, yes, I don't eat meat any longer. And at the same time, if we really look for the environment and everybody who is in there, and maybe there's also a good idea to do some charity, to maybe support a local sports team, or to help people with a meal, or to plant trees. There are so many possibilities what a company can do. And it should not only be done as PR gag, it should be done really coming from the heart. And this is also my, let's say, something that is so important to communicate from heart to heart. Not from head to head, but from heart to heart. But always when I do this, it starts this with my computer.
That's nice.
Yeah. And if I really communicate in this way with my employees, with customers, with distributors, with everybody who is around the company, with, for example, with the families of my employees, and also with, let's say, local initiatives, then we can really make a world a more peaceful world and a world of more appreciation. And one reason why I do what I do is very often I hear that people should stop their war somewhere far away. War already starts within me. And if I contribute to more peace, that's really like a stone that you put in the water and then the waves are going to many people. And if you really have employees that are satisfied when they come home in the evening and they are like this and say, oh, we've won this new customer. We have found a solution to this problem. We have created a new product. Then they really start with joy and happiness into their evening. I remember other times when it was different. And so this is why love and peace in companies is something that really can make a difference for us and for the whole world. And it's really this attitude. And if you want to, you can also call it kindness. There's also this kindness movement that I appreciate a lot. And for me, it's not either or. For me, it's both. So I really love to connect with people who have a same mindset as I have, because in my opinion, it is so important to connect. And this is one of the transformations we are in. It's no longer that there are, let's say, some, I call them single fighters fighting for more profit. It's about collaboration, to stand together. And if there are some, a question that I can't answer, then it's good if I know somebody who can answer the question. It's not that we are competitors any longer, but it's that we are all working together on the well-being of all of us. And this for me is the very big mind shift that we are now in, and where we can all contribute with all the qualities that each of us has. There is a song of Bon Jovi, and there's a line in it that I really love a lot. And this line is, remember you're perfect. God makes no mistakes. If I really have this mindset, then I don't see competitors any longer. I see other loving people who want to contribute to the same goal. And I know that when I'm talking about love in companies, sometimes people ask me, okay, love in companies. And I say, oh no, it's not about spending the lunch break together somewhere in a hidden, a room. That's not what I mean with love. I really mean the strongest feeling that we have here on earth. And that's really the love for myself, the love for other people. And if we share this, because love is so big, if we share it, it can only become bigger. And that's really, in my opinion, what the world needs now.
Yeah, I think I agree 100% with you. The fifth steps is, and that's why you and I, we are we are part of the book with Marie Diamond, Global Coaches Entrepreneur, because in order to have peace and love with the company, you also have to have peace and love with your community and with the impact that you do in the world. I think that if we have, if the company have 360 consciousness, how to grow the company in a more sustainable way, and not only in terms of pollution, but also contributing with the, like you said, with the local football team, or how to empower the community that the company is around, maybe to work with children, or allocate some funds for charity, right? This is something that the employees will love. We know for a fact, because we did like I shared with you, a global. So we work with a social responsibility company, right?
Yes.
And we know for a fact that the employees prefer sometimes to get paid less, but to work in companies that they are addressing the social responsibility, to work in companies that contribute to charity, that they recycle, they save the planet. So they want to, they are a company that, is profit driven, but also the same way it has creating a positive impact in the society. And at the end result, I agree 100% with you. They should be within the values and the core center of the heart of the company. However, it brings to the company, like you said, a lot of good benefits, and we bring a lot of profit because company can save hundreds of thousands in PR, in customer acquisition, in this process, for example, that turn your clients into fans that we talked, the point number 4. This 5th, which is the company operating with the social responsibility values, right? Actually helps a lot with the client acquisition, and also helps a lot with in that process to turn the clients into fun, because now the client they are aligned with what you're doing, and they're buying the product. Yeah, not even because your product is the best, but what buying the product means to that community or to that charity that the company is working closely as well to all the polluted and all the recycled. So I agree 100% with you that this point number 5, turn the company into conscious company, into a social responsible company, will be the core of these 5 steps, where we move the company from chaos, tension, stress leave, and a lot of mental health and psychological problems that the employees are facing, to moving to a place where we have a happy company with happy employees, with happy customer, and also happy with the environment. It's a total change in the organization, and we definitely create a very positive impact in how the company grows, in how the profits will be there, and to keep the company alive. So I want to say thank you so much, Annette. We have an amazing chat. I think that everyone in the audience have learned a lot. And if you can share, Annette, just the last thing, how is somebody in listening this podcast wants to know more about this, want to learn more about this, probably is a CEO of a company, and whatever we shared today resonate with that person, can you please share with us here how they can contact you? What is the way that they can contact you, and to get more information about how to change a company from chaos to peace?
Yes, so
from hate to love.
yes,
from chaos to peace, from hate to love. Yeah,
exactly.
So if somebody wants to start the transformation process because they are inspired about our podcast today, what they should do?
Yes, so you can find my website. It's www. and then my last name, Dernick, DERNICK .eu, .eu, like Europe. And you can also send me an email. It's welcome@Dernick, DERNICK.eu, like Europe. And you can also find me on LinkedIn. There's only one Annette Dernick, and you can always send me a request for contact, and I'll be more than happy to support you, to know what your wishes, what your needs are. And there's also the opportunity, and you'll find it on my website, to check my calendar for a free call. It will be www.dernick.eu/free call. And that's my calendar, and you can always reach out to me. And I hope that those are so many possibilities how you can reach me, how you can find me. And as I've said it here in the podcast, I will be very, very happy to serve you and to support you in any way that is possible for me. And thank you very much, Harry. It was such a great talk. I enjoyed it all the time.
Me too.
And, yes,
we learn a lot also.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sending Some more hearts to everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Phil.
Annette, for
Yes.
sharing these amazing ideas with us. And if you are at home or you're driving your car, doing exercise and listening to our podcast, and you want to start that journey in your company, your organization, how to do this transformational process from hate to love and from chaos to peace, please contact Annette, and for sure she can start to guide you in the right path for you to achieve that. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. Thank you so much, Annette. And
Thank you.
bye for now. See you next time.
Yes, thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Follow us for more on charismatic speaking, leadership, exponential business growth, branding, marketing, strategies designed to help you monetize your knowledge, find true happiness, and manifest your goals and dreams.